Well, Geoffrey here in Reykjavik, Iceland. Today is my last full day of being abroad and, well, it's a little bittersweet. I'll be glad to be coming home, seeing the family, but at the same time, I'm gonna miss Europe. I guess it depends on your definition of whether or not Iceland is part of Europe, but it feels like Europe. But I have been wrestling with this concept this whole time about being a tourist and my issue with tourists. And I go back to a great book I read called The Righteous Mind by Jonathan Haidt. And in it he explains how our moral compass is not really defined by our rational mind. It's really defined by our intuitions, by the way we were raised or our genetic code. And our rational mind tends to act just as a lawyer or as a press secretary, just justifying what we already believe to be right and wrong. And I like to think that, that's not me. I'm a rational person. I have a rational moral ethic. I'm better than that. But that's bullshit. I'm just like everyone else. I have these prejudices, and the fact that I get annoyed by tourists is maybe just because I'm conceited and self-righteous, but aren't we all? So any argument that I have really against being a tourist in itself is kind of baseless. There's certainly being a good tourist and being a bad tourist, but I don't think this distinction of being a traveler versus being a tourist that really has any real merit. Some people prefer to see the sights, some people prefer to be a tourist and go to all the popular places, and that's why they're popular, because a lot of people do. I don't. I don't enjoy that. It takes all the fun out of it for me. But if that's you, go for it. But I think we all just have to recognize that when we travel, we do have an impact. And we can't travel without making an impact. I believe it's worth it, though. I believe that the experiences I've had over the last few years have defined me in a way that I'm proud of. I've had experiences, moments of elation, and new insights, new ways of seeing the world, and have built relationships that I wouldn't trade for the world. And I hope everyone gets to experience that. But being in pursuit of that has an impact. Whether it's an environmental impact of the way we travel, or whether it's just the societal impact of being present in a city, or whether it's the impact on the local economy and choosing where we spend our money, or it's the impact we leave on the nature that we go to see. So I can only encourage you to try to lessen that impact and try to have a positive impact. Try to support local businesses instead of international conglomerates that exploit local communities. If you're going out into nature, live by the simple rule of take only pictures, leave only footsteps, and recognize that in some biomes, even the footsteps are too much. But we do have an impact anywhere we go, and that's not always a bad thing. So as my adventure comes to a close and I head back to the States and settle down for a little while, I can only leave this message, that we just have to recognize that when we travel, when we go be tourists, we have as much an impact on them as they have on us. And that can be positive both ways, but it can also be negative. So Geoffrey here in Reykjavik, Iceland, signing off for the last time from this side of the Atlantic. I will talk to you guys from back stateside in New York City. See you soon.